Hello there everybody, it is Tegan here again today. This is my intro for the Brisbane Forever and Here vlog, the Brisbane Farewell Tour vlog. It is happening today. It is about 12:30, I believe. It is 12:43 in the afternoon and I am getting ready to go. I just finished the project thing that I was putting together for them and I'm really excited to give it to them. It's a bit bigger than I had planned. I had a few more people get involved than I thought were going to get involved, but I'm so happy I had so many people get involved. I think I had at least over 30 people involved, probably closer to 40 people involved. It was a pretty cool thing and I'm really excited to give it to them. And I will insert in the video of me making it now. But yeah, it's been a week since I've seen them. At the time that I'm filming this, I still have not put up either my Adelaide or my Melbourne vlog, but they will be going up soon. I apologize in advance for how long that they are. I promise the majority of it is like music, like them performing, not me talking. So if you just want to hear me talking, then you can skip to those parts. If you just want to hear them playing, then you can skip to those parts. I just filmed a lot, which, I mean, I'm happy to have it, and I'm putting it all into the vlog because, like I've said multiple times before, I like having everything in the vlog. I've got I don't have to get on a plane for this one, surprisingly. It's about an hour and a bit train ride, about an hour train ride, and then like a 20-minute walk to the venue. So I'm probably gonna leave my house about 2 or so. I've got a few things I need to pick up at the store, so I'll probably get on the train about 3 or 2:30 hopefully, and then get to the venue around 4 or so. VIP gets let in at 5:15, so I don't want to be there too late. Plus I know Brisbane fans, people are going to be there lining up from now, so I like not being the last person to get to the venue. So I'm gonna start getting ready to go now and I will keep you guys updated. I'm super excited. It's been a week since I've seen them. In a week, Forever Ends Here will no longer be a thing, which I'm not okay with. I'm not excited about, but you know what? It's a thing that's happening and there will be many tears had over it. But right now, I'm very excited to see them tonight, and my entire family is coming to the show. I convinced my entire family to come. I was like, you guys have to see my favorite band at least once before they break up, before they're not a band anymore. So I've got my parents coming, both of my sisters, my brother, and my sister's boyfriend. They are all coming. It's gonna be a fun show. And yeah, let's do Forever Ends Here again tonight.
Slowly make this one last. For we were forever, we're just the past. Maybe we'll meet again one day. Find you, your name is just a mark in my past. Do you remember I painted the world with your name and you broke me and faded. My heart ain't been fading, I know. Take me back just a little bit. I'm 1,000 miles away, and I miss the things you do. What a perfect day. And I'm writing songs about you.
That's much more like what we've been having.
Yeah. I want to give this to you guys when you're all together. So can I?
We are all together.
I had a bunch of people come together.
Oh my God. I don't want to die.
I had a bunch of people.
Okay, look, I wrote, I'll be very, very mad if you don't play somewhere somehow. I'm very sorry that I said that. Can we also just say I didn't doing that?
Oh, that's so cute.
I see me.
Oh my God, I see you. I'm music.
Hang on.
There's a photo of us on there from 2014. Where's the hole there? Dude, look at me go. You came through.
Are you all looking at the same phone?
Yeah, what are you looking at? It's on this side.
Smile! Open your eyes and smile.
Darren actually has guys, he's very cool. And for those of you guys who weren't a part of this, if I flip it over, look at how much writing.
He's on the back of that.
I didn't even notice I was already saying. You wrote it for everyone. They like messaged us to you and you wrote it.
Yeah.
Between all her travelling and everything.
That's outrageous. It fits perfect.
I'm so excited.
Guys, thank you.
Even if
is safe. Everybody gets along with each other. Everyone's here for one reason, and that's our love of music. So if you feel strongly about that, let's have some fun to this song. Jump up and down. It's called The Line. I wasn't sure if we were chanting or singing We Will Rock You. Kane is we, so while we weave, let's sing We Will Rock You. You guys can lead instruments. How was your weekend? I regret my hair out decision. It's sparkly. I try not to do this because I feel like people judge me and how I do a man bun. So obviously we weren't going to leave and not play 2 more songs. Specifically 2. It's almost like you guys knew or something. Have you been to another show?
I mean...
This next song we're going to play, I need every single person to help me sing along, alright? Goes out to every single person who's ever helped us as a band, who's ever listened to our music, who's ever felt welcome at one of our shows, because that's what we've always aimed to do. The song's called Yours Sincerely, I Believe. That's what the song is.
Please do the letter.
I wrote to say another 7 minutes won't go to waste. So let it sink so deep in the world of its own, where the past shines bright and the stars look over. Take life for its eye, kiss it till it's lost shot. Like a ship full of old frame dreams, sail over swells and drowning tears. Every memory you write is the captain of the ship. Yours truly, I believe. Everybody's a hero when that last teardrop falls on broken pieces lying next to me to watch others break down the walls of what they told us was nothing. We had time to make a memory, so we watched us do something that makes me proud of what we know.
will shine brighter than any star that shines in the night sky. I'll be looking back smiling for as long as you're looking ahead. Yours sincerely, I believe!
You live the road to stay. You write this song again one day. You walk those steps into the place where the lights shine bright and the world looks over.
Seriously, we cannot thank you guys enough for the last 6 years. You've done absolutely everything for us, and we'd be nowhere if it wasn't for you guys. So thank you from the bottom of our hearts. Give yourselves a round of applause. It's been an absolute pleasure coming to your city. We're going to come out after the show, after we've pulled off backstage, and say hi to as many of you as possible. We want to thank you guys in person for everything you've done for us. So, but let's go out on a high note, shall we? Shall we jump up and down for one more song and have some fun? I reckon you can do it louder than that. Shall we jump up and down and have fun for one more song? We are forever and here. Thank you so much for the past 6 years. This song's called Oceans Away.
Hello. It's been a month since the Sydney show, and I realized I still have not uploaded my Brisbane and my Sydney vlogs, and I also I haven't talked about them yet. And the reason why I'm emotional, every time I sit down to talk about it, I just get like really emotional about it, and I just can't bring myself to talk about it. Also, I apologize if you can hear my AC running in the background, my aircon. I'm in Australia. It is very hot. We are going through a heat wave, so I apologize for that if you can hear it. But yeah, it has been a month since the Sydney show. What? I'm sorry, how did we get to the point where it had been a month since I last saw Forever Ends Here? About 10 minutes ago I was crying about it, and I was like, I'm thinking about Forever Ends Here. Now's the best time to film this video. So yeah, you guys would have just watched all of the videos from the Brisbane show. I got to give them my poster thing that I made, which was really cool, and they really loved it, and you guys would have seen the video of me giving it to them as well. And yeah, I'm just gonna start at the beginning of the day like I have been with these vlogs and go through it, because there's a lot to talk about with these with this show. So basically, this show was in Brisbane, which is where I am from, so I didn't have to get on a plane or fly anywhere. I had an hour train ride to get to Brisbane, which funnily enough is about the same amount of time it took for me to fly to these other places, because it's just over an hour train ride to the valley. So yeah. So I probably got to the venue around like 3:34, doors open for VIP at 5:15. So I wanted to be there slightly early. I know, like in Adelaide at least, there was nobody there to line up. In Melbourne there was, and in Brisbane there normally is people lining up fairly early, even with smaller shows. So I figured I might as well get there a couple hours early. I didn't want to get there super early. Also, I had to finish up the poster that I was making for them, so because I fell asleep the night before when I was working on it, so I couldn't leave super early to get up there super early because I needed to finish the poster. But yeah, so I probably got up there around 3:34, like I've said multiple times in this video already. And when I got there, there was probably about 10 people there already. I knew some of them, so I went and sat with them, and yeah, we just hung out around outside, and it's really cool. I don't know, because I have a lot of friends that I've made through Forever Ends Here, and all of these friends were at all of these shows, and especially in Brisbane, because I don't, even with friends that live in Brisbane, I don't see them very often. The only time that I really see them is at shows, and they were all together at this Forever Ends Here show because it's who I met them through. So I got to see them all at this show, and that was just really cool. It was really cool getting to see them all again, and I always miss them, and it's always really cool getting to see them. They all showed up. Paris was there, Lauren was there, Chelsea was there, Jackie was there, so many people were there, and it was just really cool getting to see them all. So we finally get let in for VIP, and I walk in and I see them all there and I say hi to them all and I get my VIP shirt. I walk up to the stage and Luke is sitting on the stage getting ready for the acoustic show, and Mav is standing next to the stage, and I walk over to say hi, and the first thing Mav says to me is, "You lied to me," because in Melbourne I had told him that it wasn't meant to be too hot in Brisbane for the show, because it wasn't meant to be. Especially like the weekend before when I had been in Brisbane, it hadn't been very hot, and then the weather was saying that it wasn't meant to be super hot. So I told Mav, because we were all complaining about how hot it was in Melbourne, I told him it wasn't meant to be too hot in Brisbane. And then the day before the show, I looked up the weather to see how it was meant to be, and it was meant to be like 37 degrees, and I screenshotted it and tweeted it to him, and I was like, sorry, I lied to you, it's meant to be hot. And yeah, the first thing that he says to me when I walk into the Brisbane show is, "You lied to me." And I was like, "I'm sorry." He was like, "It would have been fine if you had done it once, but you tweeted it to me as well. You said it twice. You jinxed yourself. You." I was like, "I'm sorry." But yeah, so that all happened, and then they played 3 songs, and obviously the same songs as they did in Adelaide and Melbourne, Back to You, Somewhere Somehow, and Voices. So he plays Voices, right, and forgets the words to Voices. So he forgot the words to a different song in each state. He forgot Back to You in Adelaide, Somewhere Somehow in Melbourne, and Voices in Brisbane. At the end of the song, Kane goes, "Oh, I really like that song." And then Luke is like, "Thank you, I wrote it myself." And then I'm like, "And you still can't remember the words to it?" And everybody just laughed, and I was like, oops. And then yeah, so they didn't have time to do a meet and greet again, because they do the acoustic show. So the VIP only goes for 30 minutes, so they don't have time to do a meet and greet during that. In Adelaide we had time to take group photos, and in Melbourne they just had time to do a Q&A, which is the same thing that they did in Brisbane. They just did a Q&A, and yeah, that's when I got to give them my poster. But first, so Lauren and Chelsea, they didn't have VIP for the show. They missed out on getting VIP for the show. And Lauren's favorite song is Somewhere Somehow by Forever Ends Here, and she's never gotten to hear it live. But she's been a fan of them since like 2012 or whatever. Like, she's been a fan for a really long time, and she's never gotten to hear Somewhere Somehow live. And they are only playing it during the acoustic show. Like, they're not doing it during the actual show. And so she like started a petition on Twitter trying to get them to play it during the actual show. She tweeted about it like 100 times. Like, she really wanted to hear the song live. And Luke DM'd her the night before the show and was like, "Hey, I've seen all of your petitions and all of your tweets and all of this about Somewhere Somehow. If you guys would be willing to pay like the upgrade, I would be able to get you guys a VIP ticket." And so yeah, they were able to get into the VIP show, and so that was really cool. And then Lauren raised her hand. Luke answered her question, and she was like, "Can you play Somewhere Somehow again?" And then he was like, "Oh, maybe just the chorus." And then he was like, "Oh, why don't you guys come up on stage and sing it with us? Like, you guys were really adamant about hearing the song. Come up and sing it with us." And they were like really hesitant about going up, and everybody was like, "Do it, do it, do it." And so they did get up on stage, and they sung the chorus of Somewhere Somehow with Luke. And Lauren pointed out something which I noticed in Adelaide, but I never mentioned. So in Somewhere Somehow, if you've never heard the song, I'm assuming if you watched this video this far you have heard the song, but if not, in the recorded version of the song, Luke sings, "I know you're happy with someone else somewhere somehow. I know somewhere somehow I'm over you now." And in the live version of the song, he hasn't been singing "I know somewhere somehow I'm over you now." He's just been ending with the first half of that. And I noticed that in Adelaide, because I've never heard the song live before, and in Adelaide I started singing that last part and he never did it. He just goes straight into his guitar and solo thing, but I never said anything, and Lauren said something and she was like, you know, in the recorded version you do this, but in the live version you don't do it, and he ended up doing it for it, and yeah, that was just really cool to hear. And then right after that, you would have seen this in the video earlier, right after they were on stage, Luke goes, questions, and then I raised my hand. He was like, Tegan, and I was like, I wanted to give this to you guys when you were all together. I'm so glad that I got to give it to them when they were all together, because I wasn't sure how I was going to be able to give it to them, because like I didn't know what was going to end up happening. I didn't know if I was going to have to wait until after the show or what was going to end up happening, because all of the shows have been different and I wasn't sure if I would have time, but I'm glad they ended up doing the Q&A so I could give it to them then. So I was like, I wanted to give this to you guys when you were all together, and so can I give this to you now? And I handed it up on stage and they opened it and they were so happy with it, and I don't know, it just, like, I worked so hard on that, putting it together. Like, I worked so hard, like a week after they announced that they were breaking up, or like maybe not that long, but, or maybe not that soon, but like really soon after they announced that they were breaking up, I put together this message saying, hey, I'm sure you've probably heard, but Forever's here, or I'll read you what I wrote in the message that I sent out. Let me find it. Basically, I just went through and found a bunch of people who I knew were fans of Forever's here, and I knew would most likely be willing to be a part of this, and I just went through and sent it to a whole bunch of people. A lot of people didn't respond to me, but I had a bunch of people that did respond to me. So basically this is what was in the message that I sent out to them. Hey, so as you probably know, FEH are heading out on their final tour in January. I wanted to put together something special for them that they could keep to be able to look back on and remember us just as we'll remember them. So if you want to be involved, I love it if you'd be able to send me your name and state, a photo of you and any photos that you've got with the boys, a message to the boys, whatever you want to say. I've got a cool idea for what I want to do with these, and I'll be giving it to the boys at the Brisbane show. I'd really appreciate it if you join and become a part of this. The more people involved, the better it will be. So yeah, I sent that out to everybody that I thought might want to be involved, and I did get a bunch of responses. I probably got about 40 people involved altogether, which was really, really cool, and I didn't think it would become as big as it actually did. And I know it may seem like a small thing, and it may seem like not that big of a deal, but like I worked really hard on putting this together, and just the fact that I was able to give it to the boys and able to, there's so many important messages that people wanted to tell the boys, and there was so many stories, and Forever's here meant so much to so many people, and this really showed that, because like I rewrote out all of the messages, and Forever's here meant so much to so many people, and like they meant the absolute world to me. Like, but seeing everybody else's stories and thanks and emotions put out into this message that they wanted to share with Forever's here, it just showed how much of an impact Forever's here have had on other people. And I already knew that they had an impact on a lot of people, and I already knew that they had changed a lot of people's lives and made a lot of people's lives better, because I knew that that had happened with me. But I'm gonna start crying again. Seeing just how much they meant to so many people was absolutely amazing, and getting to give this to the boys and getting to having their reaction be so positive and so amazing, and they were so excited to get it. Like Luke was saying, like, this is the best, you're incredible, thank you so much, and like it was just as much my thing as everybody else that was involved. Like, oh, it just makes me so happy that they loved it and that I was able to give it to them while they were all together, and yeah, it just meant the world to me that I was able to do that. So moving on, from that, they finished doing the Q&A, and then I ended up making my way over to the other side of the stage because I wanted to be over on the other side for Everything We Love and all of that sort of stuff. And I ended up being front row on the other side. I was second row for the Q&A, but I ended up being front row on the other side. And so that was pretty cool. And then I had somebody save my spot there, and I went to buy some raffle tickets, and I bought a lot of raffle tickets at this show. I'm so upset I didn't win a yellow shirt. Like, I am so upset I didn't win a yellow shirt. Like, but you know what? Oh well. Kane and Mav were the ones doing the raffle tickets and merch and all that sort of stuff at the Brisbane show, and I went up and I was waiting in line or whatever, and I finally got up to the front and I was like, so can I have 20 raffle tickets? And both Kane and Mav just like stared at me, and I was like, I really want this shirt. Mav was like tearing him off, and then Kane was like, let me help, and then he tried to get another book, but it was the same color, so it wouldn't have worked. And then yeah, so I finally got my tickets, paid for them, that all happened. And then Shorelines were on the other side like selling their merch, and I went over and talked to them, and they were like, did you really just buy more raffle tickets? And I was like, I want this shirt, I want it, I need it in my life. So that all happened, and then I went back over to my spot over at the stage. And yeah, so like I mentioned earlier before all the videos came in, if you remembered, all of my family came to the show, which was really, really cool. And it's really special because they've heard me talk about Forever Friends here so much, and they've listened to me go on and on and on about how much I love them and how much they mean to me. And the fact that they were all able to be there at the last show that like they'll ever do in Brisbane was really, really special, and I'm so happy that they were able to be there. And to be completely honest, if I had only been able to go to the Brisbane show, probably wouldn't have invited them, because that would have been an emotional time, and I don't know if I would have wanted them there for that. But because I was able to go to all of the shows, having them at this last Brisbane show was really special, and I'm so glad that they were able to be there. My sister Haley messaged me first and asked like how much tickets were and all that sort of stuff, because she really wanted to go and she wanted to be there, and so she bought her ticket. And then I was at dinner one night and I was talking about the shows, and I'm not exactly sure how it came up or how the situation arose, I can't exactly remember, but basically we were talking about the shows, and I said, you guys should come to the Brisbane Forever Ends Here show. And my dad was like, do you really want us there? And I was like, yeah, it would be kind of cool to have you guys at the last show. And so my dad ended up buying a ticket for him, my mom, and my little brother that night. And then my oldest sister, Caitlin, bought a ticket as well. So I had my entire family and my sister's boyfriend were all there, and that was really, really cool. And I'm very glad that they were able to be there, and they all really enjoyed it as well. So my sister Haley and her boyfriend got to the venue first before anybody else because they actually live in Brisbane, and so they didn't have to travel very far to get to the venue. But yeah, so they got there first, and I was talking to them or whatever, and that was cool. Joy in Motion were the first band that played. They are a Brisbane band, and they were the local support act for the show, and I love them. I've seen them multiple times, and yeah, they're always really fun and just a good band live. I really like their music, and so that was cool. Daybreak didn't play at this show because Luke explained it during the Q&A. Somebody asked why they weren't playing, and I think it was the lead singer who is going to England, and he had to do something for his visa or for his passport or something along the lines of that, so they weren't able to play at the Brisbane show. But so it was Joy in Motion, Shorelines, and Forever Ends Here. And yeah, Joy in Motion played, always amazing. And Jake, who's the lead singer of Joy in Motion, he about a week or so later after the show, he posted a photo on his Instagram of me. I will insert in the photo here. And the caption was something along the lines of, someone's impressed with my with the note I was hitting or something like that, and it's basically a photo of me like looking really like impressed, turned to the side, and then he's like belting out a note on stage, and he tagged me in it. And I was like, when I saw that I'd been tagged in a photo by him, I was like, wait, why did he tag me in a photo? And then I looked at it and I could not stop laughing. Oh my god. So yeah, that happened. But yeah, they're always great. I love them. And then yeah, Shorelines played, and after Joy Emotion, the rest of my family came in. They thought that the show started later than it actually did, even though I told them multiple times that it started at, the doors opened at 5:45, but you know, why would they listen to me? But no, so they ended up showing up after Joy Emotion had already played, but that was all right. I really just wanted them to see Shorelines and Forever Ends Here because they're two of my favorite bands. My whole entire family got there. I went and said hey to them and all that sort of fun stuff. And Amy and Riley were there, and I haven't seen them in absolutely forever, and that was really cool to get to see them again. And yeah, I actually met Amy at Forever Ends Here show for the first time, and that was really cool getting to see her. We actually met in a dark alleyway outside of a venue called The Lab, which is now closed down. It doesn't exist anymore, but that was the first time that I saw Forever Ends Here. I met her, and so it was kind of cool having her there. Yeah, it was kind of special because I met her at a Forever Ends Here show. I met her at my very first Forever Ends Here show, and we were there together for the last ever Brisbane Forever Ends Here show. I keep saying that and I keep getting myself emotional. Shorelines played. Incredible as always. I mean, I've seen them so many times and I never get sick of seeing them live. They're just so good. I love them. Yeah, that all happened, and then there was a little bit of a break, and then Forever Ends Here came on. And I mean, when will it ever not be emotional? Like, and I think this was my last, or that was my last ever Forever Ends Here hometown show, and it was just really emotional. Like, I saw them in Adelaide and Melbourne, and that was emotional as well. And then them, I feel like because they do all of their speeches, like they do their speeches before and after like the last songs on the set or whatever, and they're talking about how much everybody's support has meant to them, and they're talking about all of this sort of stuff. And like, that was super emotional in Adelaide and Melbourne, and like hearing that in Adelaide and Melbourne, like it was obviously an emotional thing, but hearing that in Brisbane, like in Adelaide and Melbourne, it was directed towards me because they were just talking about like the fans, but it was mostly directed to the fans that they have in Adelaide and Melbourne. But hearing it in Brisbane, like it was directed towards me because I'm their fan from Brisbane. So it just, it's just a really super emotional thing, like hearing them say thank you so much for all of the support. Like Brisbane, playing in Brisbane has always been such an amazing thing, and I'm gonna cry again, and I'm really trying not to, but hearing, yeah, just hearing all of that stuff, it just made me really super emotional. So yes, they played their set, it was amazing. And then so they were playing their set, and after Starships, Aaron and I had a little bit of a clap off, which was like, it was a great time. And I will actually insert a clip of that now. Somebody got it on video and recorded it and posted it on YouTube, and yeah, we just started clapping at each other, and it was really cool. I cried again during Everything Love, because when will that song ever not make me cry live? I swear, like I always knew that hearing that song live would make me cry, because even listening to the recorded version would get me really emotional. And then I had people send me videos of it live that they got on their last tour because I wasn't able to go, and people sent that video to me, and every time somebody would send me a video I would cry, even just listening to a video of it live. And so I always knew seeing it live in person would make me really emotional, and it definitely did. I mean, the show is amazing. Like, it's always, I don't know, like, there's not very much more I can say. The show is amazing. They are incredible live. I will never get over how much I love them live, and I'm so upset I never get to see them live again. But like, them live is such an incredible thing, and it was so cool because my family all absolutely loved the show. Like, they loved it. And like, my sister even said that it was one of the best shows that she's ever been to, and that just makes me so happy. And it was my brother's first ever concert show, and so having that, my favorite band's last ever Brisbane show, be my brother's first concert was really cool. And after the show, he was completely like singing, like he had the words stuck in his head, and like they all already knew the words to a lot of the songs because of me. And so that all happened, and then I got to introduce them all to my friends, which was really cool because like I've been friends with these people for forever, and obviously because they live in Brisbane, like we don't see each other very often. They don't really come over like to my house or anything like that, and so I got to introduce like Amy and Paris and everybody to them, and they were excited to meet them, and that was really cool. And then I introduced my family to Shorelines, and yeah, I got to introduce them all to Shorelines, and Harry came over and had a full-on chat with them and was talking to them for a while about a whole bunch of different things. And yeah, it's really cool getting to, because like obviously like Shorelines, I've seen them so many times, and like Shorelines now know who I am and all of this sort of stuff, and I've talked about Shorelines a lot at home, and so getting to introduce my family to these people that I talk about a lot and that like they've never met, but like Shorelines were excited to meet my family as well, and so that was all just like a really cool thing. And yeah, Harry talked to them for a while and had a full-on chat with them, and then yeah, I went over to talk to Aaron, and I don't know, like I got my photo, said hey to him, all that sort of stuff, and then I introduced him to my family, and I was like, hey, this is my family as well. And he had a really long talk to them about how like he asked them obviously like if they enjoyed the show and stuff, and then he talked to them a lot about how it didn't feel real, like it still doesn't feel real that like they're ending. Like he said that it still feels like at the end of the tour they're gonna go home and there's still gonna be a band, and it's not gonna be over, but it is. And he said that he like it still feels like a normal tour, like it doesn't feel like the end. And he said that in Sydney it'll probably start to feel really really real, but that right now it doesn't. And like I honestly didn't know what to say, because like I felt the same exact way. Like I felt like, oh, at the end of these shows, like I'm so excited to be going to all these shows, and at the end of them like they're still gonna be around, but they're not. And like Aaron literally put my feelings into like what, yeah, that was cool. I got to talk to him, and then I went over and talked to Kane, and Kane is like one of my favorite people in the entire world. I love Kane so much. He is one of the sweetest people I've ever met. He is so amazing. Like he's the one that wrote out my tattoo. Like I love him. And I went over and talked to him, and as soon as I walked over, he gave me a huge hug, and he was like, last ever hometown show, and I no, Kane. And then yeah, at the end of the show he threw a drumstick in my general direction, and I caught it, and yeah, that's that. It's very it is very beaten up, like very much so. And yeah, like all the way down it is, because like obviously he was playing with it, and yeah, so that's a thing that exists, and I gave it to him to sign it, and he says, oh, you finally caught one, yay, I was gonna have to get your name printed on one to make sure you got one at the Sydney show. Oh, he just makes me so happy. And yeah, he signed it. It's in silver Sharpie. It's kind of hard to see, but it's there. Yeah, the reason it's in silver Sharpie is because I didn't bring a black Sharpie to the show, because I brought a silver one so that they could sign the shirt that I got. And so yeah, so it's in silver Sharpie, but it's still signed by him, and I'm very happy to have this, and I'm very glad that I was able to get one before the end of the show. And just that comment that he made, it just made my entire night. And I turned around and I was like, this is my family as well, and his face just lit up so much, and he was so happy to meet them all. And he thanked my parents for letting me come to all the shows, and he was like, he said, thanks for letting her come to the shows, we've loved having her along. And my dad said something along the lines of, well, thank you for, like, you've helped her a lot, like, you've touched her a lot, and like, just thank you. And then Kane was like, it means a lot that we've helped people, and that we've like that we mean a lot to people. And he was like, the fact that we've like touched her and that like we've been able to help her is absolutely amazing. And then he goes, he says, Tegan is probably the most amazing and supportive person that we have ever known. And I just got the biggest smile on my face. And he then gave me another huge long hug and said that he would see me next week in Sydney. And I turned around and literally started crying because I was just so emotional, and hearing him say that just like pushed me over the edge. And yeah, but he was like so happy to meet my family, and that was just a really cool thing. And then we went over to Mav, and yeah, I got my photo with him and hugged him, and we were talking about Sydney and how that's coming up, and I said I'm really excited to go because I've only been there once, and that was like 3 or so years ago for the Divergent premiere. And he was like asking when it was and all that sort of stuff, and then he was like, I probably literally would have been working, or he said, I literally would have been working like right next to you while you were there. Like, I didn't know about them then, but like, imagine what? Like, I could have found out about them like 2 years sooner if, yeah, but so that was a thing. And then I introduced him to my family and all that sort of stuff, and he said that he would see me in Sydney. And yeah, he gave me another hug, and it was great talking to him. And then we went over to Luke, and at this point we were all kind of being rushed out of the venue, and because they were trying to like pack everything up, and so they were kind of rushing us out of the venue. But I went up to Luke, got a hug, got a photo, and then was like, oh, and this is my family, by the way, because I wanted to introduce my family to all of them, like I needed to. And his face literally lit up, like he got so happy, and he was like, thank you guys so much for coming. And he asked me if they enjoyed the show, and my entire family like all said yes, and that they loved it a lot. And my mom was like, we already knew the majority of the songs because of Tegan. And Luke was like, that honestly doesn't surprise me. And yeah, I had them all sign the shirt that I got from them. Like I said, I can't find it for the life of me. I don't know what I did with it, but I will insert a little clip of me showing it to you now when I find it. This is the VIP shirt. I found it and thought I would share it with you. These are all of the signatures that I mentioned that I got as well. That is Aaron's, that's Luke's, that's Mav's, and that is Kane's. Yeah, this is what the VIP shirt looks like
by the way. I don't think I've shown it in any of the vlogs so far, but yeah, so it's just got Forever Ends Here 2012 to 2018, and then I will show you the back of it as well. It's got all of their songs on it, which I think is really, really cool. And it was a really good idea for the VIP shirt. I can get all of it in. Yeah, I don't know. I just thought that was like a really, really cool idea for the shirt, especially like it's got every single song they've ever released except for Yours Sincerely I Believed, which Luke forgot to put onto the shirt. And then it also does not have the new song that they released right after the Sydney show, which is called Fantasy Heart. But other than that, it's got every single song on it that they've ever released, which I don't know, I really, really like it. But yeah, that's the VIP shirt, and it's also the one that I got signed.
But yeah, so I got them all to sign the shirt, and I brought a silver Sharpie because obviously it's a black shirt. A black Sharpie is not going to show up on the shirt. And I gave it to Aaron first to sign it, and he was like, is this gonna show up? And he was like, oh, it's a silver Sharpie. Like, he was so surprised that I had a silver Sharpie. And then Luke as well, like, I gave him the silver Sharpie to sign, and he signed it, and he was like, you know, in the 6 years that I've been in this band, I don't think I have ever signed a black shirt with a silver Sharpie. I was like, you have to have, like, a silver Sharpie's not that uncommon, is it? Like, I don't know. But yeah, they all signed the shirt, and that was really cool, because I was like, I have 4 shirts from them. I might as well have them sign one of them. Like, yeah, like, I'm gonna have 4 shirts because obviously I've got VIP for all of the shows, and so I get a VIP shirt from each show, and so I might as well have them sign one of them and have one of them signed. So after I finished saying hi to all of them, actually no, I think it was before I went over and talked to Forever Ends Here and stuff, but Jackson was there, and Jackson, he used to be a member of Forever Ends Here until he left, and then Aaron joined and became a part of the band. But yeah, so Jackson used to be a part of Forever Ends Here, and nobody thought that Jackson was going to be at this show, and then he just like was there, and everybody was like, what? Like, nobody thought he was gonna be there. But I mean, I guess it kind of makes sense that he was there. Like, Forever Ends Here was a really big part of his life, and he now lives in Brisbane, so like, it kind of makes sense that he would be at their last ever show because it was a big part of his life. He's saying goodbye to it, but still, it was a big surprise to everybody. And I went over and said hi to him and was talking to him, and I was like, I literally found out about you like a week after you left the band, because I did. Like, his last tour, I found out about them like a week after that tour ended, which was like, what? But yeah, so I told him that, and he was like, you literally became a fan at the worst time. I was like, I know, I'm sorry. And then yeah, so I talked to him, I got a photo with him, that was kind of cool. And then he told me I should come too, because his band is going on a tour, like the band that he's in now is going on a tour, and he was like, you need to come to both Brisbane shows. And I was like, I will try, and I might be, I don't know yet. The tours, like the shows are this weekend, so I'll decide. I haven't bought my tickets yet. I'm waiting to see who the local supports are. Hi, it is much later on in the day now. It is like, I don't know, what time is it? It's 11:30 p.m. and my phone, or my camera battery died, so I had to charge it, and then I didn't start filming again. But I wanted to finish this today because I want to finish talking about the show, and also, when else is the best time to finish talking about these shows? When I'm emotional. It's been a month since the last show, and yeah. So let's finish talking about this. I was almost done anyway, so I might as well finish it now. So yeah, I talked to Jackson, and then after I talked to Jackson is when I went and talked to the rest of the Forever Ends Here boys, and then we were kind of being kicked out of the venue, and so we were all being told to leave. And then also I had my family with me, so we were trying to get out as well because people had work and stuff the next day, so we were trying to get out. And on the way out, I ran into Josh Setterfield, who is he's a singer. He used to be in a band with some of the members of Shorelines, and yeah, I ran into him. I think I was saying bye to Paris and Lauren, but they were talking to him, so I ran into him as well, and I said hey, and he grabbed the drumstick that Kane had given me. He grabs it out of my hand and he like twirls it around in his fingers a little bit, and then he just throws it at the ground. And like, as you would have seen earlier, like it's very brittle and like broken up, and I was like, if he had broken that in half, I would have actually murdered him. But he was like, he threw it at the ground, and then he was like, oh, it doesn't bounce. This floor must not be bouncy. Normally they bounce back. It's like, in what world is a venue floor bouncy? Like, what? So all of my family has already left the venue at this point, and I went back to go and say bye to Shorelines, and I ended up running into Shaman, and like I went to say bye to him, and then I just ended up talking to him for like 10 minutes while my family was outside waiting. Oops. And both Harry and Shaman both mentioned this to me, but basically they were meant to have they were filming a music video at the Sydney show, and they thought that the Sydney show was on Saturday, but it was actually on a Friday. And so they had told this video guy that was meant to be filming their music video that it was going to be on the Saturday, but it was like obviously actually going to be on a Friday. So they were all stressed out about whether or not they were still going to be able to get this video guy to come and film their show film for the music video, because they weren't sure if they were going to be able to. And luckily it did work out in the end and he was able to come. But yeah, they were stressed out about that. But yeah, I ended up talking to Shaman for a while, and then my sister came back in and was like, Tegan, we have to go. And so yeah, I ended up walking out of the venue, getting into the car. We drove off, and put this into perspective, this is the first time that this is the only show that I left the venue early before Forever and Here left. Like all the other shows I waited until Forever and Here had left, but this one, because my family was with me, it was the last or only show that I left before the end, like before Forever and Here had left. And we drove off, right, and probably about like 5 minutes later I get a DM from Kane, and like I look down at my phone, and Kane, who's the drummer of Forever and Here, yeah, Kane has DM'd me. And I'm like, what? What? And I literally told my family, I was like, stop the car. We are going back. Why has Kane DM'd me? And I'll read you what he said. Okay, so he DM'd me at like 9:58 p.m. So this was around the time that I left the venue as well. I just didn't look at my phone, and he DM'd me and said, are you hanging around? And I didn't see this until 10:07, so this is like 10 minutes later that he's DM'd me, and I'm like, what? Like, what? Why has he DM'd me? Like, why is he asking me if I'm hanging around? Like, I had absolutely no idea why he was DMing me. And then I DM'd him back and was like, I just left, my family wanted to take off, and he didn't answer. And then I was like, I hope it wasn't, I said, the one time I don't hang around, haha, hope it wasn't important. And like, I was like, why the hell is he DMing me? Like, what is this? What is going on? And then he finally DMs me back about like 20 minutes later and was like, nah, that's fine, was just gonna see if you wanted to come in for a group photo, but we got a good one in Adelaide, was lovely to meet your family. And I'm just sitting here like Kane, one, he said it was lovely to meet my family, which like made my heart really happy, because like I was really excited for all of my family to get to meet him, or I was really excited for all my family to get to meet the entire band, because they're such a huge part of my life. And just knowing that it was nice for them to meet my family just makes me really, really happy. And I'm so glad that, you know, I'm just really, really glad that it was like they enjoyed meeting my family as well. And also the fact that he looked around this area of people and he didn't see me there, and he thought to DM me and ask me if I was still there and ask me if I wanted to come in to get a group photo. Like, it's just like, he didn't see me in the area while they were doing the photos, and he just thought of me and thought to DM me because he didn't see me and wanted to, oh. I just love him so much, and the rest of this band so much. Why do bands have to break up? Honestly, why do I have to get so emotionally invested into bands? Like, why is that a thing? Like, I should just stop getting emotionally invested into bands because then they break up and then I get really sad about it. So yeah, I left the venue and I went home, and as soon as I got home, I put in my SD card and watched like the video of me giving the poster and stuff to them, and it just made me really, really happy. And yeah, that was the Brisbane show. And I will mention one more thing because it was really, really sweet and I love her so much. And so Alex, who is Aaron's girlfriend, she's so absolutely incredible. I love her to pieces. She messaged me after the Brisbane show, and it was 2 days after the Brisbane show that she messaged me, and just completely out of the blue. I mentioned her before. I met her at she didn't come to the Adelaide show, but I met her at the Melbourne 18+ show, and like we were both really excited to meet each other, and it was really cool getting to meet her for the first time because I had talked to her some online, but I never actually met her in person. So getting to see her at the show was just really, really cool, and having her like feel the same way was really, really cool. And yeah, she messaged me 2 days after the Brisbane show and was basically saying that she was really sorry that like we didn't have the chance to talk at the Brisbane show, and that she didn't come and say hi, and that she'd see me on Friday. And I don't know, like it just like completely made my day when she messaged me, because I was having a really bad day, and like it was like one of those days where I just was not in the mindset, and I was really down about Forever Is Here and all this sort of stuff, and then she just DM'd me, and it was just really sweet, and it just completely lifted my mood having her DM me and say that. And she also said that, because I messaged her back and was like, my family wanted to leave, my family was there, so it like wasn't your fault, like we'll have time to chat in Sydney, I left early, all that sort of stuff. And she messaged me back and said, part of the message was, I've heard your family are amazing and legends, haha. And oh, that means that like somebody, like one of the boys said to her that like my family was great. And oh, I don't know, it just like, it just made my entire, like it just lifted my entire mood. And then another message that she said was, thanks for being so supportive to Aaron and the boys, you're super loved. And like honestly, it just made my mood go from 0 to 100. Like, Alex, I don't know if you're watching this, I know that you've watched some of my videos, but thank you for doing that. You were great and completely lifted my mood, and just thank you, you're amazing. And I hope I run into you at some point again, because it's really nice getting to talk to you, and you're absolutely amazing. And yeah, that's about it for the show. Like I said, I left early, so there's not too much at the end of the show to talk about. It was the only show that I left early. It's also the only show that Kane DM'd me after the show asking if I was hanging around. I will forever be bitter about that. But no, yeah, I left early, so there's not much to talk about after the show. And then also, obviously, the show was in Brisbane, so I don't have anything to talk about after the show either, because like I just went home and it was normal. And then yeah, the Sydney show is the next week, and I will talk about the Sydney show really, really soon. I really want to get these 2 videos up soon because obviously, like I've mentioned before, it has been a month since the Sydney show, and so I want to get these videos up as soon as possible because I do not want to delay them much longer. But I will hopefully get the Brisbane vlog edited and uploaded really, really soon for you guys, and I'm excited to get it up because it's been like a few weeks since I uploaded my Melbourne one, so I want to get this one up and put it out into the world finally. And yeah, that's gonna be about it for this video. Obviously the Brisbane show was absolutely incredible. It was my last ever hometown show. Having my family there was absolutely incredible, getting to introduce them to the people that have changed my life and have made my life so much better was such an incredible and amazing thing. And I'm so happy that I got the chance to do it and that they all wanted to be there, and that like friends here enjoyed meeting my family as well. It just makes like me so happy. And like, yeah, it was my last ever hometown show, which was super emotional time. Just it being my last hometown show, it's the first place that I saw Forever Ends Here. It's one of the last places that I saw Forever Ends Here, and so it was just like a really emotional show of the tour. Obviously they were all emotional, but just because this was the hometown one, it was very emotional. And yeah, I got a drumstick at the show, which I'm really happy about. I was hoping to get one before the end of the tour, and I had the absolute best time. These shows, I talk about being sad at these shows, and I talk about crying and all of this sort of stuff, but I was genuinely the happiest I have been in a very long time being at these shows and being surrounded by all of these incredible people and like watching my favorite band up on stage. And yeah, I love them so much, and these shows just meant the absolute world to me. And I'm gonna stop being sappy. I'm being very sappy. I'm in a very emotional mood right now. But yeah, the show is absolutely incredible. I really hope that you guys enjoyed this vlog if you're watching it to the very end, and you guys can expect my Sydney one to be coming hopefully really soon. I'm hoping to get it up soon, and that one will most likely be very long because I have a lot to talk about, but we shall see. I did not take very many like actual videos of the concert in Sydney because I was crying way too much to do that. But yeah, that one will hopefully be coming really soon, so you guys can look forward to that. And yeah, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, you can give it a big thumbs up. I would really appreciate that. Let me know down in the comments just your thoughts on Forever Ends Here. I would love to know. And you can subscribe to my channel if you want to be told when I make new videos. I would really appreciate that. I'm so close to 200 subscribers, so if you want to subscribe, that would mean the absolute world. And yeah, that is about it for this video today. I'm Tegan, this is Bookwormia, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!